Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the respected dignitaries, distinguished speakers, honorable participants, and the loving audience, and all beautiful people present here from all around the globe. I, Professor Nada Datkovic, IIU Board Member, Country Director, IIU Croatia, the President of Research Center IIU, the CEO of Global Community for Education 2030. Welcome you all to the International Conference on the theme International Conference on Early Childhood Education, the starting process of lifelong learning jointly organized by International Internship University, Global Community for Education 2030, and IIU Research Center. Welcome to the day one. The importance of education and its multifaceted nature and demonstrated by the fact that our estimated speakers today will say and present in different ways and for number of the purpose. So let's start our conference. First, I will introduce our great organizers. Global Community for Education 2030 has been formed to promote and implement United Nations 2030 Agenda SDG 4 for making education accessible to all through partnerships, policy guidance, capacity development, monitoring, and advocacy. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development is a plan of action for people, planet, and prosperity comprises the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Sustainable Development Goal 4 is the education goal to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all education 2030 and for the declaration and framework for the action of implementation of SDG 4. Professor Pradip Mandal is the founder of Global Educators Forum and the Global Metaverse Community. Mr. Piyush Pandit is a founder, International Internship University, and he is the president of the Global Community for Education 2030. Me, Professor Nader Ratkovic, the president of IIU Research Center, is the COO, and our great Dr. Snikta Kadam, COO of International Internship University, is the chairperson of Global Community for Education 2030. Our next organizer is International Internship University, IIU, a leading virtual education system, a global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well reputed in delivering innovative programs. Globally, it is a trusted name for quality training programs and is committed to providing better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. IIU is metamorphosing the conventional education system by cutting down the additional costs and providing access to more than 1,000 plus courses and internships to their e-learners across the globe. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries and 6 continents under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit Sir, a committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds. The sky is the limit for his dedication and hard work. IIU has 4 councils, namely Women Entrepreneurs Council, Student Development Council, Youth Development Council, the Council of Educators, and IIU has the IIU Research Center, a unique hub establishment by and providing the research facilities by also our visionary Mr. Piyush Pandit, sir. IIU Research Center gives an opportunity to the researchers, authors, educators, students, scholars across the globe and enhances the research opportunities, academic excellence, real-world problem solving, and knowledge creation and dissemination. The high caliber globe educators team is dedicated to it. So It is a careful consideration where you can study regarding a particular concern to problem using scientific methods. Me, Professor Nader Ratkovic, as a president of IIU Research Center, thinks if you have ever thought about how would be the world without education, research, science, innovation, technology, or any development of anything, then the IIU Research Center is the right place for you. But today, let's acquire a knowledge of future education. We know education can change the way we are looking at ourselves, the world, yourself, and the world. A good education is a key to successful life. How can we live today without education? Power to make the world a better place. So today, let us cherish and adore the real value of good education. We have an amazing topic, and the day one today is starting on the theme of International Conference on Early Childhood. Do you hear this word, early childhood education? Do we need education? Yes, and it is a starting process of lifelong learning. And today, I now want to call a master of the ceremony. I have a beautiful, amazing, clever woman, Miss Herdiana Devi Nurfika. She is an entrepreneur. She is a certified NLP practitioner, life coach, mental health advocate. She's a CEO and founder of Bliss Education Center. She's coming from Indonesia, and I can say proudly that she is a member of International Internship University, a member of Global Community for Education 2030, and a member of IIU Research Center, where she is very active like an educator. Welcome, my dear, beautiful friend, Miss Herdiana Devi Nurfika. The IIU stage is yours.
Okay, thank you so much, my dear Nada, for the lovely introduction. So, hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone. My name is Herdiana Devika, and today I'll be the moderator in the first day of International Conference on Early Childhood Education, the starting process of lifelong learning. So, why do we need to talk about this topic? Like Professor Nada have mentioned about it before, and I'm sure the majority of you might agree with me that the more you learn as a child, the easier it will be for you to continue learning as an adult. Because some people felt like, I wish I could have learned this before, or maybe say, I wish I could know this earlier. So because early childhood education is like the stage of preparation, that's why we are here now with amazing lineup of speakers. But before we started, please kindly pay attention that each speaker has 10 to 15 minutes. So let's be more aware of the allocation time. And without any further ado, I'm calling our first speaker, Mr. Zaid Akhtar. He is an entrepreneur, mentor, influencer, trainer, founder of One Life, and co-founder of Prayam. He is coming from India. Welcome, sir. Our virtual stage is yours now.
Hey everyone, I welcome you all. Being a member of this team, I really like the idea and the initiative and the minds behind this happening, because when we talk about anything, so the young mass has to be taken care of. And I'm so happy to have the line of people who are basically from the same industry, and they have domain expertise, and they would be the best possible people to answer to all of the things that's going on our mind, so that our younger generation, the future generation, can be developed in a way that we have a holistic developmental thing coming up, and so that these people are going to take care of the nation, the entire world in the coming days. Thanks for inviting me. And as I always say that it is during the childhood days, when the children are young, they are like learning sponges. With the every new experiences they learn, the behavior they adopt, they are going to invest it in for their future, fruitful future. So giving classes and sessions and trainings, and obviously being a father of one of father of my kids. So we have raised children, and we see that we have been in the future, in the past as well, that parents are the people responsible for any child's development. So even in today's social world, I was just writing just moments back that we very easily, as a parent or um, as a guardian, we blame others for whatever is being happening with our child. So we blame others for, if the child is not good or behaving some odd, the parents get it easy that they blame others for whatever is happening with their kids. So what I mean to say is like, children's just copy. They only do what the parents are doing across. So it's very easy to say that you have done nothing, and the kids are only learning from the schools. No, it is not. So I say this with pride that how we behave with the public, how we are to the public, how we do our daily things, how we schedule our tasks, how we see the future. So the child just take care of it and does the same as the parents does it. So that's how normally we say it. And in fact, I really appreciate the initiative where we start talking of the early childhood initiatives that has to be taken, so that the child develops over that over the time. And it's an holistic development that includes the studies, not just studies. There are so many things that the child needs to understand, because by the time the child comes at around 17-18 years of age, he should be ready to accept the society and take care of his own future. Now, when we do take care of the studies, but there are other things that needs to be incorporated during the early childhood, so that whenever the child is getting into 17 and 18, they should not be very not aware of things like how to socialize with people. So there are a couple of things that is very much needed for them to understand before they step into their career in life. The very first thing is about socialization, how to behave in socially with the people around, how to behave in social media as well. So how to behave with different kind of people differently. So how to conceptualize their things when they have to say something in public, how to concept it, how to make sure that the public understand it, how to plan it accordingly and put it in a right way. So that is called conceptualization, which they need to understand right from the childhood. So we also talk about the moral thing, because moral education is also one of the part of the education. But in current world, due to the technology and advancement, the kids are normally pushed into studies mode all the time, so that the moral education which we used to have in our time is like negligible in these days. And nobody really bothers about your kid whether he is morally updated or not. So uh, we must all encourage all this holistic development which a child needs to go through. We also talk about the lifelong learning. The lessons is like we learn, in fact, at the age of even 90, 70, 60. At every age we learn something. The child should accept that the um, the learning is a process that continues for throughout the life. So it is not that you just learn during your student's time or your youth time or probably an adulthood time, but you have to learn, you have to accept that the learning is complete for your lifelong time. Because until unless you accept that in your early childhood, then you would be falling sick of getting the teaching from the outside world, or the people who are going to teach you something. So also would also recommend, when you give the learning, so it is also should be incorporated in the educational institutes, that when you give the learning, you also give the learning through setting up examples and experience, sharing these best practices and examples, so that the people so the kids who learn should actually go through the practical aspects of the learning too. So it is just not mugging of everything and then just appear in the exam and try to clear of the exam and get good numbers. So other than the numbers, they should also know the concept, the learning experience, then they should go through it. We must also, every child must also know how to respect. different people at different times, and respect each other, respect the different forms of nature, respect the, know how about the environment, how to respect, how to, care for the nature, care for the other species in the world that sustains with us. So that should be there initially, because people, the kids, I don't say that we don't do it now, but this should be incorporated in the school education system, so that there is a holistic development. We almost in that process, we also learn, you teach the students to make sure that they also know about the financial aspects, like what is for financial independence, how to what. So we talk about these loans, we talk about the investment our parents do to us during the education times. So the kid must take the responsibilities, not, we are not just pushing any responsibility, but they must know what the car loan looks like, what the house loan looks like, why the government gives loan or grants loan. So these financial aspects should be known to them. I'm not saying this all should be pushed, because when it comes in the adulthood, it comes as a surprise in most of the places. So which is like, we don't recommend. So we want people to know about what is the use of credit card or plastic money, what is the use of other loans and things that are available. So that also should be known. This is kind of, I'm just suggesting, because these are the point that are, I'm also writing a book on this. So what all those things that are going to help the parents as well as the kids for the holistic development. um, Concentration and focus is something that kids are not able to focus in real time studies and their interest. So they don't really distinguish between what they want in their life. Their purpose of life is not known to them till the time they start looking for job or doing some business or something in adulthood. So it also comes as a surprise to a lot of them, because people are not ready for the role. So from the childhood, they should know where should they focus at, what are their interests, and their studies should continue as per their interest. Every child is for a different interest, and we should concentrate, the parents should concentrate on their real interest, where the child can actually go as per his own likings and what he wants to do in life. The purpose should be solved. The child should know what is the purpose of his or her life, and till the time that purpose is known. So there are people whom I still meet and then see that even people at 40 years of age, 70 years of or 60 years of age, still thinking that we never had a purpose in life. So that is why we goofed up with a lot of things. So the purpose of life should be taught right from the beginning. What exactly you want from your life personally and professionally, that is one of the most important things that is missing still in a lot of colleges. um, uh, we also things like patience. We have to be patient a lot of times. So there are a lot of people found, a lot of kids found, running after some or the other things, and they're impatient while they don't get it. So if you talk about technology, if you talk about anything they want to achieve in their life, they also should learn, so how to achieve it, how to get it, with the patience that is needed. So these all should be, taught right from the beginning. And even parents should be engaged in the really real course of action, so that we can actually go with properly with the holistic development. So it is not really easy, because you tend to push all these things to the colleges and institutions, that it is your job. No, it is not. As a parent, it is your responsibility as well, what my child needs, where it should be pushed, what all should be pushed. I have to promote, I have to engage myself. I have to, make sure that if I am doing something, if my kid is asking for something, I should prepare the kid for getting it. So as a parent, it is also responsible that we learn all these things. Um, the confidence and the self-esteem part is also missing in a lot of people. Very less people, 10 to 20% of the kids who are very much good and they know the purpose of their life and probably they're proactive, are able to make it. But what about the rest of the kids? They are so low on the self-confidence and the self-esteem, they really don't know. So they should also know about their self-esteem right from the beginning of their childhood. They should be empathetic, they should be honest, they should be inculcating this teamwork. right? All these things has to be, done right from the beginning. And I'm sure things like this is going to help the kids and the parents towards a complete holistic development of the child. And obviously, as the new generations, every generation has their own struggles and challenges in life. And if we consider all of this thing and we give time to it, and definitely there would be a time when we'll be happy about our kids performance, and how the kids is going to take care of his or her future in the coming days. That's all from me. This is Zahid, and I'm sure I was able to speak on the topic, and yes, it took around 10 minutes for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Let's give him a big applause. So yes, I agree with you. We need to make the children to understand how to socialize with people and also learn about morality. And Mr. Zahid also mentioned some elements of emotional intelligence, which are self-esteem, empathetic, and social skills. Because yeah, it's really important, because at the end in their adult journey, no matter how smart they are not going to get far if they don't know how to socialize or not working, especially in this digital era. And another good point that I like from his speech is that, yes, parents or maybe older people around the children need to support the children to learn what they interested in and then focus on it so they can do the job they love, not getting stressed in the middle of college or burnout at the workplace. If maybe the parents or maybe older people in around them try to force to learn what they actually don't want to learn. So it's really great. Once again, thank you so much, sir. So we have our second speaker here. So our second speaker is our Honorable African Queen, Professor Dr. Elizabeth Lucas Efolu. She is global inspirational speaker, author, and advisor, mindset transformation coach, founder and CEO of Yes You Can International, and she comes from United Kingdom. Welcome, Queen Professor Dr. Elizabeth. Please enlighten us.
Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. Thank you also for your great work, because I know the whole day today you're going to be leading us on this conference, and you're going to make us feel relaxed and learn from one another and sharing. So I want to say thank you so much. It's a great work that you are doing, and we do not take it for granted. So thank you so much, ma'am. And we appreciate you. First of all, let me give honor to whom honor is due, and all protocol observed. I want to first of all give gratitude to Professor Pradita Madel that's really invited me to this great conference. He is the founder of Global Community for Education 2020. I also want to express my gratitude because it's not only one organization that is doing this. We have about IIU, and we also have the research center. So I want to express my gratitude to the founder of International Intensive University in the name of Sir Pius Pandit. I also want to express my gratitude as well to the president of Research Center, my own very friend, Professor Nada. Well done, and thank you for all what you are doing and for inviting me to come and share my inspirational nugget of wisdom. I will also express my gratitude to all our ambassadors, our organizers of this conference, and also the administrators, and also the moderators, like I've said earlier on, and also to all our participants, because if you are not here, we won't share, we won't speak. So your time is also very precious, and we appreciate your patience today, to willingness to learn. The theme of this conference is very interesting, and that is the early childhood education, the starting process of lifelong learning. I want to appreciate our first speaker. I respect you, sir, and I really, really learn from even if it is a very short time, even within the short period, we can still learn great, great, great stuff. So I want to say thank you, sir, for sharing with us. As an inspirational nugget, as an inspirational speaker and writer, I will come to the level of my own ability to empower, inspire, and also to encourage every teachers, coach, parents that are out there releasing all their experience, their wisdoms, teaching all these young children. I want to say to you all, well done. Let me first of all start from all this. Moment of truth is knowledge is power and learning is living. To keep learning is to take extra activities in learning, and mindset is everything. And that is why it is necessary we grow our mindset and we can achieve sustainable development goals, especially in the areas of developing the children, because it is very important that we start right from when they were very, very young so that we can guide them through, help them through, and also lead them through. It is so important because they are the leaders of tomorrow. So whatever we do at this stage for their lives is very, very important. And that is why education for them is very crucial, because education is the key to the success and it's also for the future. Education will advance our knowledge and bring creativities, innovation, and new ideas. It will improve speciality in any subject and more solutions. It will also bring better understanding, and better understanding will lead to better and quality performances and also make us to be happy as well. So better understanding will also improve application and implementation of what was learned. So it is very important for all our teachers that are in the position of teaching the toddlers to get a better understanding and also to share and let these children have a better understanding of what's being taught. Let me first of all acknowledge and appreciate the great works of all our teachers, our lecturers, our mentors, our parents, coaches. They are adding values to us all and supporting the children to fulfill their purpose. If we can think, then we can thank and appreciate others. So let me also inspire and motivate them to continue the great works, for what they are doing and their time of working hard will not be in vain. They will be rewarded. So because we need to encourage all our teachers, especially for these toddlers. Yes, it's not easy, but we have to do it so that we can prepare these great future leaders. So you will not be forgotten and you will be rewarded, no matter how hard it may look like, knowing that you are imparting into these young ones. Learning, we can still adapt to change and be flexible in our teaching these young ones. It's not going to be easy, and it's not one way. It is varieties of ways. But the most important thing is when we are happy personally, then we can extend our happiness to the children, because they don't only just listen, they are watching the way you are doing things. They learn from your actions. They learn from your speaking. And they also learn the way you yourself present yourself. Teachers are our role model. Their love of children draws them to be teaching. Oh, yes. I mean, you can, if you listen to some of the children say, what do you want to become? I want to become a teacher. It's an inspiration because they watch us. They see the way you are teaching them, you are guiding them, and you are showing example. You are their heroes. And that is why they too want to become a teacher. Teachers are our friends, effective partners, creative, dedicated, passionate, caring, innovative, excited to teach and motivate these children. They assist others to discover themselves and they add values to people. So let's encourage ourselves, especially the parents and the teachers of this younger generation. Sidney Hook said, and I quote, "Everyone who remembers his own education remembers teachers, not the method and the techniques, but the teachers themselves." So the teachers is the heart of educational system. So we appreciate their passion and their skills using to motivate the students, especially our younger generation. I just want to encourage the teachers to continue the good works, knowing that teachers all over the world will not be forgotten. They shall be greatly rewarded. So before I round up, because I've been given 5 to 7 minutes, so I don't want to be naughty this morning to extend my time. Let me just quickly encourage us as a teacher. Consistent learning is the key to success. So teachers, educators, mentors play an important role in our education system. So be encouraged to make a change. Be determined to make a change in the area, in the ways you were teaching these our toddlers. Be encouraged and be the change. Just like the former president of the country of USA said, we are not waiting for anyone. We are not waiting for another time. You are the great teacher, and you are the one to make the change, and you are the change in our education system. So as we continue to teach our children, we need to enlighten them more, to let them know that they are special, they are unique, in respect of their differences, in respect of their colors, and in respect of their age or even their gender. They are unique, they are special. When you start inspiring the children, guess what? They will feel comfortable. They will build their confidence and they will be happy to want to learn, knowing that you have instilled in them the power of yes, you can. You have instilled in them the power of possibility. You have encouraged them that, you know what? You are special. And guess what? You can do great things in life. So let's start motivating our children. Let's start motivating our toddlers, even in our skills, even as we teach them in class. The next one is be willing to listen to them. I'm telling you, it's very important. When the children see that you are interested in what they want to say, they will come, rush quickly to you and tell you everything. Children has no secrets. They don't have secrets at all. So if you open your wide arms and say, come and tell me, they will rush to you. And when they will tell you everything you need to know. So they need to listen. They need a listening ears. They need a great teacher that will be their role model. They watch you. How do you present yourself? How do you speak to others? How do you even teach them? They don't only listen to what you are saying, they are watching you. So it is very important that we keep on working on ourselves and be happy and be peaceful so that we can help others. Finally, let me also encourage us that we are the role models. We are the super teachers. We are the one that will help these children to become who they want to become, to achieve their purpose, and to be successful in life. I believe when I round up this one, I believe every one of us here has gone through the process of this childhood. We've learned from the great teachers, and that is why we are here, succeeding, speaking, sharing, happy, and empowering others now. It's because of what our teachers have done right from the beginning. And we want to say thank you so much for all the things we are all doing, including myself. Parents, let's encourage our parents. Let's encourage the parents of these kids as well. Collaboration is very important. I remember when I was school governor, we have to work in hand with parents, with teachers, and even with seniors in schools. Let's cultivate the habit of working together. And yes, we can. We can work together. We can stand together and make this education a better, a good, and interesting for these children. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak. And may God bless you all.
Thank you so much,
you can.
Queen, Professor Dr. Elizabeth. And I absolutely agree. Let's give her a big warm applause. We all know that teachers and parents are role models, so we also have to show them what they deserve to see, to listen, and to learn. So everything have to start from ourselves, so we can bring the impact to the people around us, especially the children. And another good point from her speech is, yes, better understanding will bring us better performance, because yeah, misunderstanding can lead anger, fight, and even more. That's why it's really important to teach the young generation or the children about the early education, so they can really perform better and be a better human being in their future. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
So now I'm calling our third speaker. She is Ms. Nivedita Satpathy from India. She is Secretary, Women's Council for Socio-Economic Welfare, or WCSW, a non-profit NGO. Welcome, ma'am. The stage is yours.
Good evening, Hardina. Thanks, Pradeep Mandal, sir, for inviting me. I hope I'm audible. Hello?
Yes, you're audible, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'm here to speak on early education, early childhood care in education, which addresses the period from birth to 8 years. Actually, I feel that the childhood is from birth to 8 years. After that, after 8 years to 11 years, they become adolescent. They start changing and they start thinking. So which addresses the period from birth to 8 years old is important because it capitalizes on a period of rich brain development for children. And when it is of good quality, can help them achieve their full potential. And early learning is an exploration that children pursue at their own pace and through the unique development and care needs. Children's brains are designed to be stimulated and challenged to carefully examine and interrupt the environment. So we, as teachers, as parents, how we try to mold them to future citizens, it is our duty, because we say that children are the best motivators, imitators, sorry. And when whatever we do, they carry it forward. So it is the way we try to inbuilt their brain, their mind, and their thoughts. It becomes knowledge for them throughout their life. And the three things which I feel is very important during early learning is relationship, repetition, and routines. First is relationship. Building a relationship with a child. A teacher has to build a good relationship, has to build a rapport with the child, and a parent also. Today, in today's generation, we do not have time for our kids, as both the parents are working. So main thing is that to develop a child's brain and to make him a happy individual is most important. And by that, and the first and the foremost thing is to build a good relationship with the child. And second is teachers. These days, teachers do not have patience, which is very much required. And we are always pressurizing the children of class 1, 2, UKG. We are pressurizing them to do good. Why should we pressurize them? Let them do something which is very important for them and which they want to do. Let them do their passion. If they want to play, let them play. If they want to study, let them study. So this should be the way. We should not enforce or force on them to do things which is not necessary for them. And another thing is that a child should have to be less techno-soft, because today's world technology has developed so much that we are into mobile phones. I visited somewhere, I saw a 3-year-old kid holding a phone, and I don't know what she was understanding, but she was watching a movie, and then she was eating her food. So these things we can be technology has developed a lot. We can do many things, but we should see first the children should utilize the technology in the right way. Then about children learn through play. First is we should teach the children through playway methods, not by enforcing them that this has to be the curriculum and you have to study in this manner. Second, children are our most important resource, and now in the future, how we guide them, how we try to build them, they are going to be our future citizens. So how they are going to develop themselves in future. Third is children always come first. For us, if children come to you, this stage of children, when they come to you or they have any queries, what we do, we'll talk to you later, or we try to dissuade them when they're asking us too many questions. So what we should do during that time, we should give them the time. They let them speak, let them explore, let them know. If they are not talking sense or so, let us discuss with them. Let us know what is their type of mindset, what they are thinking in the mind. The parent, the teacher should know it beforehand, so that in future the child shall have no other problem. Then child are natural researchers. Child are natural researchers means the way you act. If two parents are fighting, or a teacher is using a slang in the class, or somebody is using a slang or trying to behave in a very odd manner, then what happens? The child tries to imitate it. It's immediately goes into his head, and in his heart also he feels, either the child feels it in his heart or in his head it is registered to use it somewhere which is not necessary for him to use it. So it is very important to use, by choosing words we should use in front of the children, because firstly I had told in the beginning that children are the great imitators and they imitate whatever you do. So whatever you present yourself, it is more important for you to build your future child or future citizen or future generation, whatever you can feel to say. And children emulate positive models. They try to, sometimes children try to attract positive things. Sometimes they try to take negative things. It is a human nature that whenever we see negative things, we get attracted to the negative aspect than to the positive aspect. So whatever positive things we can give to the children is more important than giving the negative things. So any type of negative atmosphere which we are creating for the child, we are creating a disturbed child for the future, or an adolescent who shall be a very disturbing adolescent who's going to give trouble to the parents and the teachers in future. So it is very difficult to raise a child, I would say. If we really want to set examples of raising children properly, then we should take care of, by giving value education, a strong foundation, emotional resilience, nurturing good habits, developing them with good learning skills, and enjoying an overall successful life with giving them good life. But parents these days do not like to give them good life, as they are too busy in their lives. So parents' role is the most important. Second is the teacher's role, because always the teacher is blamed for not taking care of the child. But isn't it the parents' role too? It is the parents' role too to take care of the child. And it is in our hands how we are going to teach the child in future, how we are trying to build them up for the future, and how we are going to empathize with them so that they become empathetic children in future and try to behave properly. The goals of early childhood education program can be split into 4 main developments. One is social, second is economical, physical, intellectual, and academic. So we cannot just enforce on academics. We have to see that they are excellent sports, in music, in art. So every curriculum should be carried out in such a way that they try to improve themselves as good citizens. This much from me. Thank you so much. And I hope I was trying to convey my message thoroughly. And it all depends on us, how we want to build our future citizens. So, my main aim was that if we talk about early childhood education, it is only from 3 years to 8 years we can conclude, not from 8 years above. From 8 years above, when it goes to adolescent ages, because they start developing that period of adolescent. Because from 9 years, you know that girls are becoming adolescent these days. So thank you so much. And with this, I end my session.
Okay, thanks a lot, ma'am. And yes, we need to understand that we should teach the proper way for using technology for the children so they can get the most benefit from this digital age. And I think, yes, the teachers and parents also have to teach the children that it's cool to be kind, not being rude, because some kids this day really think that it's cool to be rude or even bully other kids. So once again, thank you so much, mom. And I'm calling our fourth speaker. She is Professor Rachana Chakraborty from India, and I'm sure some of us have known her. She has a great personality. She is Assistant Professor, CVMD, Global Motivational and Keynote Speaker, International House as well. Welcome, ma'am. It's really great to have you, my dear. The stage is yours. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. It's really a pleasure always to meet such great eminent speakers and educators across the globe. And listening to them is always my cup of tea, which I always love to do. Listening to such great speakers who have joined and congregated. First of all, with due respect to the dais, and thanks to the IIU University for hosting such wonderful programs every time. And thank you for calling me always. And of course, Pradipta Mandal sir, who is doing an amazing work organizing such an event is in the global level is not an easy work. You have to be always on your toes. Who is not going to come for the meet, and there is a lot of other things which has to be taken into consideration, and he does it very meticulously and always working day in and day out. Thank you so much for making it possible for me to be a part of this eminent team. And the speakers, we have already heard some of them who were talking about a very, very important topic, which today I too would make it my privilege to speak on it. And I want to thank her, Diana, always an amazing moderator with a lovely smile and interactive skills. She always makes the sessions so very beautiful. And of course, Nada there, Professor Nada, I always admire her. And we have been meeting quite in several other platforms too. Thank you so much, Nada, for being there always in IIU. Whenever I am there, I always meet you. So thank you so much for being there. Hopefully we'll meet someday physically too. Yes, thank you, thank you. So without much ado, I would like to talk about a very, very important topic that is, which is taken up today, the International Conference on Early Childhood and Education, that is the starting process of lifelong learning. So when we talk about this, is it really necessary? We all know that, yes, it is a must. It is a compulsion when every children must be taught how to think and not just what to think. These are the primal age, the stage where a child is growing. So we as educators, we as the anchors, we need to teach them how to think and not basically install in them the pedagogies or the curriculum based education. So first is the basis of what and how they have to think. So that is the prime important which we need to talk right now at this early childhood care education, because learning is a process which is not at all bounded up by age. Of course, when we talk about early childhood care, which ma'am just now said, that it is still 8 years of age. When we go technically by that, that is the early child care education. And that is the age which we are figuring out right now. But I feel learning is actually a process which can be over the age throughout. and there is no age to start learning. Now, coming back to my point, where do we start learning? And there was no right age to stop learning because it's a continuous process, but this period of time that forms the foundation for the lifelong learning. So this early learning experience of the children shapes is continuously working, shaping their brain, their attitudes, and their learning capacity. The early years of the child are also the right time to cultivate their interactions. And this is very, very important because these interactions later on give them a boost to come up and think. When we initiate this early child care education in the schools or maybe off the school, we try to install all these cases, which is very, very important. You know that we all will agree to the fact that this childhood is the very, very crucial stage of life, as this is the time where the child's mental and physical abilities are progressing, and this is creating a problem for the child as well as for the educators too. They need to understand what they want to express. They might not have the proper and appropriate words to vent out or to voice out their feelings. But we as educators, we who is teaching as teachers, we should be able to understand their language of communication. Their language of communication might not be polished like the language which we as adults might be using. So that doesn't mean we go, over the head and we become totally crazy about how they are speaking, or just, tell the child to stop talking all the rubbish and put them in the corner and all the time, ignore as if they don't exist. This is not the exact way, because in this age, the maximum proportion of learning takes place. It is also considered to be the perfect time of cultivating the zeal to learn, the growth. So thus, this is the time where a child needs effective guidance to enhance their learning experience. And in this time, when we as educators try to push them away from us and try to say that, please come afterwards, or like you are ignoring them all the time, then it is not going to suffice. If you want that the child needs special care, special attention, probably we can meet them after, slowly, or maybe with a tap on the back, or maybe a touch therapy will give the child that confidence that yes, as an educator, we are always there with the child. Instead of that, if we just shrug off our shoulders and we just let the child go away, then the child always is building up that habit or that trend that teachers are really not approachable. So this feeling should not be culminated in a child's brain or a child's heart from the beginning. So we need to remove that all the time. So basically, during the first few years, the parents have the major influence. We know that, as they are at home, the child's learning experience and education. And when they start coming to school, maybe 2 years, 3 years, where they interact with the teachers and other small children, most importantly, they start their learning process. First is mingling with people other than the family members. So this is where their learning is going on. Thus, every aspect of early learning should be have and try to build up a positive impact on the child. So if a child is surrounded by a negative environment, they might have a negative influence and withdraw from gaining any further learning experience. So negative exposure or an environment that is not conducive for acquiring learning can not only hamper their learning experience, but also impact an overall development of the child negatively. So as experts also believe, there is a mental condition which needs to be developed in a child. So mentally, this child, if who has been all the time bashed or told to keep quiet in the class, might not be developing in that way. The child might become meek, timid, and might use up different other ways of communication. Or maybe suddenly a time might come when the child stops speaking. So this is actually turning into a different way. So when the child is mingling, we should allow the child to speak what the child wants to express rather than putting the barriers in front of them. We need to see that the child is developing holistically. So that means the child should be able to speak up without being judged. The child should not feel that he is under a judgmental forum who is all the time, maybe the teacher, the parents, who is telling you, you don't have to speak like this in front of your elders. No, let them speak. We can guide them that this is not the correct way. Probably you can speak it in this way, but you need to speak. But if we make that fear growing in that child's mind, I assure you the child will never speak. I have a lot of cases coming up to me, the small children, along with the parents who have never spoken to each other. Being a counselor myself for the last 26 years, counseling parents and children, I have seen such cases where the child has stopped speaking and the child is becoming timid, and the child fears that he or she is always judged. So this feelings needs to be removed in the initial and the early childhood stress. As a result, nowadays when we talk about the mental health of a child, this becomes a top priority. We need not judge, give them a non-judgmental platform when they are coming to your institution. Let them do what they want to do. Let them play, let them speak up in the middle of the class. They might see a sparrow on the in the wall, or maybe they're sitting there chirping and the child wants to express something or talk to the sparrow probably. So let him or her do that. So it's nothing wrong, to talk to a sparrow rather than taking out a mobile phone and looking and digging into it. So the child is learning to speak to the teacher. The child is learning to speak to the friends rather than the family members, and he should be encouraged in the long run. We should not think that the child is doing something wrong. This is the reason that the experts have also emphasized the quality of the environment in the preschool and the primary education. So it is very, very important, the environment, what you're giving to your child. The children coming to the school, if they get only the four walls, they are not able to see anything else, then they are not able to develop. The focus should be on adapting a problem solving approach while we are learning. So we cannot think that the children who will come to us for education will be already polished by their parents. We need to train them. If a child develops a problem solving qualities, he can maintain that throughout his life. So basically, we need to teach this child how to solve problems on their own, and they should be able to face it, face their fears. So early childhood care education teachers play a very major role in the child's early learning, as already ma'am had said about it. A good teacher can enhance the early experience of a child in the education environment. So this is very, very important. The guidance which the child gets in this years is also noteworthy, not only academically, but irrespective of all the academics, the child should be able to perform in its length and breadth. Giving importance and encouraging the early childhood education is making learning systems so that everyone can improve the skills, to develop rigorously. So the current century, with the growth of technologies and introduction to globalization and a change in the traditional forms of employment and acknowledgement, restoration, knowledge and skills important have led to the prominence of this lifelong learning. So basically, when we talk about this lifelong learning process, we call it also as the cognitive process, which is the best method of educating and developing the minds. We call this approach that would be lived, practiced, and actualized rather than becoming in the end of the product itself. So education would become a culminative, continuous, and a transformation of the whole individual's life, starting from the base. So the pedagogies which would describe the professionals, the curriculums on this early childhood care education should be made in such a way that the child gets the space to grow and develop. So if you limit the child by giving them a book, these are your portions, you need to fill it up, you need to submit your assignments and homework in time, then the child does not get the time to grow on their own. So we need to make the child understand that yes, you can do it. You can come up to that level, and there is no obstacle or no burden which can stop you from doing that. If you want to show the child about technology, show them a movie which will make them learn. So the child will understand that technologies are meant for learning. Why don't we implement technology? As already ma'am said, that yes, it's true that we have seen in several cases that a small little child is watching a television or maybe a mobile and trying to finish the food in time. So it's good for the mother as well as with the other, the elders in the house, because the child is quiet when the child is with technology. Whatever they are watching, they just swipe the screen, whatever is coming, they're just watching it and nodding their heads with it. So as educators, what we should do, we should try, since the age has changed, we cannot stop right now that the child should not be using technology. It has already culminated. It has come up. We are moving to the age of technology. So technology will be there in every ages. And in this preschool and early childhood care, we should train the child that technology should be used only for seeing this educational movies, which will make them, increase their knowledge rather than differing it from their knowledge-based education. So if we can do that, the child's confidence level also increases. Rather than looking at him with bigger eyes and wide, gaping at him as if the child is doing a crime. It's not a crime to use the technology, but yes, the right way how we can use the technology can be trained by us. So not that during food or eating time, you should use the technology, but yes, during your education or learning process, maybe a rhyme which you're learning, it can be done very nicely with sing song process, which is available with music. The child learns all the alphabets, all the numbers with the technology, with the help of technology. It's never wrong to learn the poetries, the initial stage, but we should see that it has not been used in the wrong way. We cannot give a child technology to eat food. Neither can we cancel a child or make a child box that there is no technology outside. Technology is a ghost which will eat you as soon as you go out. So we cannot train a child in that way. Rather, we should make it open and make them understand, because we are dealing with students or children from 3 years to 8 years, the very, very delicate period of their life. Whatever we teach them, it is implemented in their mind. So we need to have this sort of training for this children also. So I just want to conclude by saying, because the time is very short, I can keep on saying about it because I am into it and counseling a lot of small children who have been suddenly taken away from the phones and have been debarred from watching the television suddenly. So this doesn't happen suddenly. It is actually wrong. You change the channel, you shift it off. It's rather that you can give example and say, this channel we will watch it later on when we are having free time. Let us watch this channel, which is really nice. You can see underwater animals and creatures. We cannot make them say no. If we say no, the child gets more. When you are not there, the child will surely see. The child will take out means, and I assure you, they are more techno savvy than us. In spite of we not teaching them, they learn it. It's in the brain nowadays, because they have been taught in the womb by the parents themselves when they have been using the technology. So as a result, we need to just guide them, catch their fingers and their hand and show them that this should be done right now. And this we all are doing at home, including the parents also should watch those channels and not tell the child that you go in that room, now we are watching this. So then the child will never understand why did you do that. So thank you very much. And we need to all understand as educators that early childhood care education is a must right now to discuss and implement it, because we are dealing with the younger minds, we are dealing with the ignited souls. So with that, I just want to listen more from the educators who have joined us, the eminent educators. Thank you so much, Hadiana, for giving me the chance. Thank you, Nada, for listening to me. And I hope I had been able to come in this limited time about the point about why early childhood care education is a must as educators right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Let's give her a big applause. And yes, I firmly agree that children in early age have great growth change. So they need effective guidance, like Professor Chana already mentioned, whether at home or school. So it means that parents and teachers have the big responsibility to make positive environment during the learning process in the early age. So they can feel to be loved and warm instead of get pushed to do certain things, and let them express their feeling, as its learning process is really important. Because like children these days, they actually don't really like to be told to do something. It's different if we compare them 5 years ago. So they develop in the different way. So thank you so much once again, Professor Rachana. So next, our fifth speaker is Dr. Smita Sain from India. She is assistant professor at Loyola College and also affiliated to Osmania University. Welcome, ma'am. Please enlighten us with your knowledge. The stage is yours.
Good evening, everyone. Hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
My screen is visible, right?
Yes, we can see. You
Oh,
can put the full screen.
okay, okay. So, good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to this wonderful topic. Thank you, IIU Global Educators Forum and the entire team to conduct this type of event and giving me chance to speak about my thoughts and views about this type of topic. So, our topic today is early childhood education, the starting process of lifelong learning. And all my friends, the speakers told the importance of early childhood education. The key takeaways of my speech is one is number one, importance of early childhood education. The second one is current statistics of early childhood education globally. What are the problems of early childhood education and what solutions we can do for that? So as I told you, my friends, the speakers, they all gave a well explanation about the importance of early childhood education. Like the young mind is like a sponge, right? As ma'am told, uh, the children they grasp everything or they capture everything. So we should be the role models as teachers or the parents. They should be the role models for these young children because the first 6 years of a child's life or when the brain is developing the most and they build during that time we can improve their confidence, their self-esteem, overall personality, right? Like it is a holistic development, right? So it affects if the childhood education, I mean that early childhood or the primary education is good, it will affect that child in a positive way, both physically and mentally. It will affect that child in a good way. That means, in a nutshell, we can say that as I'm not going in detail because we get a well explanation about the topics like the importance of early childhood education. All the speakers spoke about this one. So I'm not going in detail. Anyway, the importance of early childhood education is the overall personality development of that particular child. We can build that positive experience, we can build that curiosity. It is the overall holistic development of that child. So let us see, as this is the importance of early childhood education, let us see what is the current statistics of early childhood education globally. As per UNICEF, uh, the data says that about 175 million children aged 3 to 5 are not enrolled in the preschool education. So this is very shocking. When I conduct a research about the topic, I really shocked about the this data. And nearly 50% of all the pre-primary age children are not enrolled in preschool education. And when we go to the low-income countries, like the least developed countries, the situation is more worse. That means it is this issue is more extensive, where only we can see only 1 in 5 children are enrolled in the school. That means in the age group of 3 to 5, they are included in pre-primary education. So this is the data, and I told you in poorer countries, it will be more worse. 90 to 91 percentage of the children are not in the free education. So about overall, the data says that about 258 million children worldwide were out of school due to the pandemic. We know that due to the COVID, many children stopped the early education. I mean, stopped the education. And according to UNICEF, in past year, I mean the previous year in 2022, around 147 million children missed more than half of their day in personal learning due to the school closures. So this is the statistics of early education, childhood education globally, and we know that the total population of the children is 1.9885 billion, and around among this, around 244 million children are out of school. So why it is so? And we are into that sustainable development goals in order to achieve those goals by 2030. And we know that the fourth sustainable development goal is quality education. And 90% of the countries, they have set national goals for this quality education for everyone by 2030. As this is the situation, why this much of children are out of school? That is the question. So, what are the issues of this early childhood education? Why this much of children are cannot go to this school? The first problem is they because of as per the data, as per the research, it says that most of the children lack their education due to health problems, due to the low economy, I mean low income status of their family, or as we can say that the low economy of the developing countries. That is also a problem because this type of countries, I mean that low economy of developing countries, they cannot provide proper infrastructure to the schools. Lack of funds are there, right? And even classrooms are not available. They are not paying the teachers properly. We are not well trained. We don't have that well trained teachers in the primary education sector in the poor countries and least developed countries. So this untrained, underpaid teachers, they and moreover, they have lot of additional work rather than the teaching. They are engaging in other non-teaching duties. So all this creates more stress in these teachers, and most probably, and most of them quit the job. So lack of teachers is another problem in the primary education sector. All these are as per the research and the data, and as per the prediction of the UN, they are saying that we need around 69 million new teachers in the primary and the secondary education by 2030 because teachers are not there. Well-trained teachers are not there. As ma'am and other speakers told, a well-trained teacher can guide the students in the proper way. They can find out their strength, they can find out their weakness, and accordingly, they can guide the children in the proper way. So this is lack of teachers. That is one of the major issue in the primary education sector. And we know that lots of terrorist attacks are there. Military purposes, the schools are occupied for the military purposes. So that is another reason. And in past 5 years, 14,000 attacks were happened on the education field. I mean, 10,000 directly on the schools in 34 countries. So all these are the factors where these children cannot go to the school. And in order to overcome all these things, in 2015, a commitment like Safe Schools Declaration Commitment came into existence. And now it is in order to resist this attack and military occupation. In 2015, Safe School Declaration came into existence and it is now signed by 101 countries. So actions are there. More government is supporting so many things in order to improve the this early childhood education. And another issue, we all know that modern slavery, the child labor. We can say that it's a child labor. Around 160 million children between that age group 5 to 70 are into child labor. And according to International Labor Organization, 79 million work in hazardous jobs. So there, that is the forced labor, right? So all these children are not going to school. We know that when you watch this or when you observe the construction sites or the what the building, I mean the construction works where we're going like building or the apartment work, we can see a number of the children, migrant laborers children there. They're not going to school. So we know that they are not getting that opportunity to this primary education, right? And many children are forced to go in for this labor work and all. So all, I mean, 160 million children, according to the recent data, 160 million children are in the child labor. So this is the situation in the why the children cannot go to the primary schools or why they are not getting the primary education. And another one, we know the gender discrimination, right? Many countries they have that like when we take the data, we can analyze or we can observe that girls are 4 times more likely to be out of school than boys. And according to UN, they estimate that 130 million girls between the age of 6 and 17 are out of school, and 15 million girls of primary school age, half of them in sub-Saharan African countries, they will never enter a classroom. So this is the situation. Gender discrimination, that is another problem we are facing in this early childhood education. Why the children cannot go to the school. And another one is there are no proper schools nearby, so parents are not ready to send their kids to the school for a long distance and all due to the unsafe conditions and long distance. So all these are the issues of early childhood education. Why the children cannot go to the school or what they are stopping to go to the school. So what is the solution or what we can do for that or what government can do for that? As I told you, in poorer countries or in least developed countries, lack of infrastructure is there. So the government can provide good infrastructure, good classrooms, I mean books, everything to the students, right? And also they can train the teachers in a well manner, right? Well proper way, right? Because teachers they are the after parents, yes, of course, parents and teachers are the role models, but after parents, teachers can guide the students in a proper way. So if it train the if it train the teachers in a proper way, they can guide the students in a better way. They can find out their strength, they can find out their weakness, and they can guide them in the proper way. So the government they should improve the quality of the teachers, and also lack of teachers are there. Many education sector, especially in primary education sector, the lack of teachers are there. So the government should close that teacher gap and they should properly train the teachers in order to guide the students. And also, because of the low income status, many children cannot go to the school. So such poor families, government or the concerned authorities can give the financial support and also better social security schemes also they can offer. Of course, almost the countries are providing that social security schemes, but these poor people are not aware about that. That is another reason. So, as citizens, we can, as a common citizen, we can raise that awareness about all the social security schemes to the poor families, and we can raise the awareness on the importance of education among them, and thereby they will ready to send the children to the school. Like we have domestic helpers and we have housekeeping staff in our society. Just talk to them and just ask where their children are studying. So through this conversation, we can identify whether they are sending their children to school or not. If not, we can guide them in a proper way. We are not investing any money or like that, but just we can invest our time. We can give support to them. We can provide the awareness camps to them. What are the social security or welfare schemes where the government is offering? So thereby we can encourage the parents to send their children to the school. And also, like in the terrorist attack or some natural attacks are there, disasters are there. So in such cases, emergency preparedness is very important, and response planning for such natural and man-made events, we can train the teachers in a proper way. Thereby, we can make sure that all are safe. And also, the we have to update the knowledge of the teachers, because nowadays the technology is moving very fast, right? So make sure that all the teachers are well prepared to use the technology, and or whether they trained properly in order to meet the industry needs or like that. So the teachers, we have to train the teachers well. Of course, the parent engagement and communication that matters most. We have to talk with the parents also involved in the this part of that journey, that primary education, because parents plays an important role. Parents are and teachers are the role models of these students, these children, right? So in this way we can make some changes in the society. So I would like to conclude the session by Swami Vivekananda, right? We want the education by which the character is formed, and also the strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's own feet. So that's all about my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your amazing presentation. We really appreciate it. So let's give her a big applause.
Thank
So
you
we are
so
in
much.
halfway of this conference, and I'm so grateful that we are here learning together. And I'm sure that some of us might have some takeaways from this conference as well, and we can share ideas and knowledge about this topic. And now I'm calling our sixth speaker, my dear friend, Dr. Ijoma Esther Namdi from Nigeria. She is CEO of Mummy and I Media Nigeria, and she's also international speaker and life coach. Welcome, dear. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hadiana, for that overwhelming introduction. Thank you so much, Professor Pradeep Samandel, the founder of Global Educators Forum, for putting up this together. And also, I want to appreciate International Internship University, our founder, Peyush Pandit, my dearest friend and sister, Professor Nada. Good to see you. It's always a pleasure to see you once again. And I want to appreciate respected Prof. Queen Elizabeth Lucas. That was a wonderful speech. Dr. Sminter, all the amazing speakers that paved the way for us, that opened the stage for us in today's event. I really appreciate you all. My name is Dr. Ijoma Esther Nnamdi from Nigeria. At this point, I would like to share my screen. today we are looking at introduction to early childhood education. That's our topic for today. And one of the things I would like to discuss today is what is early childhood education and why is it so important for us to know what it's all about? Simply put, early childhood education is considered the official term for teaching young children. More specifically, it refers to formal and informal educational programs that guide the growth and development of children throughout their preschool years. And when we talk about preschool years, we're looking at from birth to age 5. Children at these ages are entirely dependent on their adult caregivers, including parents, daycare providers, babysitters, extended family. Young children have incredibly impressionable, elastic minds that are constantly soaking up information from their surroundings and learning from interactions and experiences. They are wired to perceive, imitate, experiment, and explore. This is one of the reasons why early childhood education is important. What is the purpose of early childhood education? The purpose of early childhood education is to provide children with strategies that help them to develop the emotional, social, and cognitive skills needed to become lifelong learners. The 0 to 3 Foundation considers the following skills to be most important for young learners to master. When we talk about 0 to 3 Foundation, we are talking about the skills, what a child is supposed to learn between age 0 to 3, because that is what forms the cognitive skills, the social skills, and the emotional skills of that child. You know, a lot of people think that when a child is young, that it doesn't really matter when the child starts learning. It actually matters because, like we always say, the earlier, the better. And that is how it is in early childhood education. The earlier the child starts learning, the better, because it helps the child a lot to develop some skills that will help the child in their lifelong learning. The first of the skill is language and literacy. Language provides the foundation for development of literary skills. Learning to communicate through gestures, sounds, and words increases a child's interest in and later understanding of books and reading. Secondly, thinking. Children are born with a need to understand how things work. Their everyday experiences, the use and develop an understanding of math concepts such as counting and sorting, problem-solving skills that they need for school. Self-control. This refers to the ability to express and manage emotions in appropriate ways, and it's essential for success in school and healthy development overall. It enables children to cooperate with others, cope with frustration, and resolve conflict. You don't say because a child is little, they cannot learn self-control. No. Early childhood education is all-encompassing, is a total package that helps in the all-round development of a child. And it's amazing that it teaches the child some life skills that will help the child for the rest of their life. So it's not something to wish away or something to treat with a wave of the hand. Also, we have self-confidence. When children feel confident and competent and believe in themselves, they are more willing to take on new challenges. It takes confidence to take on new challenges. It takes confidence to speak out for yourself. It takes confidence to, play your role. It takes confidence to relate with others, to market your natural ability as an adult. So if you can inculcate self-confidence in a child right from the early years, it will help the child to become a wholesome adult. Because when you're confident in yourself, you are self-aware, you understand yourself, you understand your natural abilities, you understand what you can do and what you cannot do, and you are at peace with yourself. If children can be taught how to, have confidence in themselves, how to be at peace with themselves, it will help them a lot, and it will guide them even as they mature into adulthood. Early childhood education curriculum are set up to encourage young students to learn about themselves and the world, their experiences. This includes indoor or outdoor play, cooperative or individual play, domestic play, sensory play, and constructive play, to name just a few types. When we talk about the domains of education, we talk about the cognitive, the psychomotor. These are the things that help the child. These are the things that help young children know more about themselves. When you see them in preschool, you see them playing, you see them running around, a lot of parents may think they are wasting their time, but they are not wasting their time. They are actually learning. These are the things that help them. These are the things that they need at that age. So when a child starts learning at an early phase, at an early stage of life, it helps the child to develop. It helps the child psychomotor. It helps the child to be aware of their environment. And let me tell you, a lot of young children that play a lot are actually very intelligent. They are actually very smart, because in the process of playing, they are actually learning. They are figuring their environment out. They are learning more about themselves. They are learning how to do things. So when your child is not being educated early, the child is actually lacking. And that is why we are having this conference, so that parents will understand the need for this early child education. So let's quickly look at why is early childhood education important. 90% of a child's brain development happens before age 5. 90% of the development the brain of a child, undergo happens before age 5. 90% brain development before age 5, 10% of brain development happens after age 5. From this pictorial evidence, you can agree with me that the early years, which is before age 5, is very important. What happens at that phase goes a long way to determine how the child comes out. So it's something that we need to take seriously. During the early childhood years, the brain is making millions of synapses every second. These neural connections allow us to move, think, communicate, and comprehend the world around us. To say that this is a critical window of development is actually an understatement, and more work at the end of the manual template. What happens at this phase? What happens at this stage is very important, because this is a stage where something called imprints are formed. I studied medical biochemistry. And when you talk about the nerves, when you talk about the sensory connection, when you talk about brain development, how the brain functions, this is what we're talking about. And during the early childhood years is when millions of synapses happen. Children take pictures, they understand things, they tend to grab things as fast as possible. So if you can harness that to teach the child, it will go a long way to help in the mastery. Also, children in early childhood education programs are, 1, less likely to repeat a grade. 2, less likely to be identified as having special needs. 3, more prepared academically for later grades. more likely to graduate from high school, more likely to be higher earners in the workforce. According to the Learning Policy Institute, LPI, the most important elements of a quality early childhood program include: one, sufficient learning time and small class sizes with low student-teacher ratios. Two, well-prepared teachers. As a teacher, you don't say because you are teaching children, you won't get yourself prepared. No, you need to be prepared at all times. You need to know that these children are not wasting their time. They are actually learning. So you need to be well-prepared. Well-prepared teachers who provide engaging interactions and classroom environment that supports learning. Three, research-based, developmentally appreciates early learning standards and curricula. Sorry. So I believe that this few points of mine has gone ahead to explain the need for early childhood education. Early childhood education is very important, and it's something that we need to encourage in our countries. It's something that we need to encourage. We need more educators. We need more teachers. We need more global educators to put hands on deck and make this a reality in different third world countries, in different developing countries, so that we can have more children start their preschool. We can have more children embrace early childhood education, which will also help them to become better adults. Thank you very much, Global Educators Forum, Professor Pradita Mandel, and the International Internship University for setting up this amazing, awesome event and for having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Let's give her a warm, big applause. It was amazing presentation as always, my dear. And I love the presentation as well, because yes, the more we do activities in developing ourselves, it means like the more pathways will be created in our brains, connect and get stronger. So our neuroplasticity can make new pathways and get stronger by the repetition. That's why the teachers need to make interactive section in the classroom so it can help the children develop their brain as well. So now we are having a young, amazing girl with us. I'm calling our seventh speaker, Ambassador Ilan Salamberis from Georgia. She is a student at Kefaleti Village Public School in Georgia and international speaker. Welcome, Ilan. The stage is yours.
Hello everyone, I am Ellen Schellenberger from Georgia. I'm honored to be at this amazing conference with amazing speakers and to share my view on this very important issue. Thank you very much, dear Professor Paradipta, dear Nada, and the organizing team. I wish you success, and now I will share my presentation with you. Okay. Welcome, everyone. International Conference on Early Childhood Education, the starting process of the conference learning. The field of early and preschool education and upbringing in Georgia is regulated by the law of Georgia on early and preschool education and education. In Georgia, preschool education and education, including the school readiness program, in voluntary. Free upbringing and education of children is ensured in the public institution of preschool upbringing and education, as well as their funding in accordance with the rules established by the legislature of Georgia. The beneficiaries of the system are children from birth to school age, and the service provided to them and divided into their main distinctions. Early care and education. service provided to children from birth 2 years of age, early, and their parents' legal representatives, which includes education and support of parents' legal representatives, child care facilities, healthcare, nursing, hygiene, and safety, children's early innovation, and include education service. Preschool and education from the age of 2 to energy and first grade of the primary level of general education are care and education service provided to ensure the all-around development of the child. School readiness program is a mandatory component of preschool education and education. The school readiness program is an educational program prepared on the basis of the state educational standard, which helps to achieve the result established by the standard. Early education is important. Early childhood education is extremely important as it lays the foundation for a child's later growth and development. Investing in early childhood development has a positive impact not only on the health, well-being, learning, and safety of young children, but also on the country's economic growth in the medium and long term. The adoption of the law of early and preschool education and the development of national standards for early and preschool education were very important limitants in terms in improving the quality and availability of preschool education in Georgia. The national rates of children's participation is new preschool education system 69.5% is Georgia is much lower than Europe, 95%. This percentage is even lower among ethnic monetary groups, children with a disability, and children from disadvantaged and rural families. In addition, the large number of children is the classes, the scarcity of educational and entertainment research of the law qualification of educators that a negative impact on the quality of preschool education. Now I want to introduce you to the general education system in Georgia. General education in Georgia is regulated by the laws of Georgia on general education and on development of the quality of education. According to the current national curriculum and other bylaws, complete general education covered 12 years old in a carried out at 3 levels. Primary, basic, and secondary. Primary education covered 6 years and is carried out in grades 1st and 6. Basic education covered 3 years and carried out in grades 7 and 9. And secondary education covered 3 years and carried out in class 10 and 12. Okay. Primary basic education is compulsory. A general educational institution can be both public and private. Education is general educational institutions in carried out in accordance with the national curriculum, with the development and developed by the National Curriculum Department of the Ministry of Education and Sciences. Education is a process that consists of education and training. Both of them are aimed at forming new knowledge, developing skills, and gaining experience. Preschool and general accordingly education, the experience is not lost anywhere and continues to live even after the death of the innovator. In the past down from a generation to generation. After that, the experience of the whole society appears. Preschool and general secondary education means the transfer of cultural knowledge. This knowledge is implemented starting from a kindergarten in school, college, and institutes. Preschool and preschool and the general secondary education is an unfiled, purposeful process of education and training, as well as combination of acquired knowledge and skills. Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. It's Nelson Mandela world, and I love that. არც ერთხელ რომ არ დაეცემი, ეს არის ყველაზე დიდი დამსახურება ცხოვრებაში. მთავარია ყოველი დაცემის შემდეგ წამოდგე. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Ellen, for your beautiful presentation. Let's give her a big warm applause. I love the point that she said early childhood education will also give the benefit for the country's economy. And yes, it's absolutely true, because the children are our future. And this is wonderful when a young generation already thought about the future country's economy. So Georgia must be proud to have you, Ellen. Congratulations.
Thank
Okay,
you
so
very much.
after then, yes, after Ellen, now we have another wonderful young generation with us. So our eighth speaker is Azra Afmia from South Africa. She is Youth Ambassador and Global Student Council member of IIU. Welcome, dear Azra.
Thank you so much. So first of all, I would like to greet everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone around the world today. I greet everyone in the universal greetings of peace and blessings. I'm Ambassador Azra Efmia from South Africa, and today I will be telling all of you about early childhood education. Now, you might all be wondering, what is childhood education? Childhood education is a branch of education that basically starts from an early age. Meaning that we need to start gaining education and our skills from an early age. Meaning that as the youth of today and the future of tomorrow, we need to realize that education doesn't start from now. It starts from small. If you practice learning every day and you keep getting better at it every day, you learn new things every single day. And indeed, we grow from learning daily. So work hard, keep growing, and face the world with your head held high and with a smile on your face. And one of the quotes that I would love to say today is the goal of early childhood education should be to activate the child's own and natural desire to learn. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my dear Azra. It's really great that you have really amazing speech. I'm sure that you must be really prepare yourself for this, and I'm grateful that you could have fun to join with us. Congratulations, and thank you so much to you. So the next speaker is Mr. Gaurari Khanra. He is Axio Center for Policy and Training for School Education and Netaji Subhas Administrative Training Institute, Government of West Bengal, National Research Person of Government India, editor, Pantojan Bengali Quarterly Periodical, which covers the issues on child development and school education. And he is coming from India. It seems like we have a great personality with us for our next speaker. So welcome, sir. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. It is my great opportunity to say something about school education, about the development of the children. Human life starts with the childhood. So childhood is the best part of our life and most important part. Human life, as it is the best part of it is our scope to build our nation also. So if the baseline is not strengthened, the entire human life may be collapsed at any time. So how we can build our nation as well as uh, the children of our future. So national, so we have thinking of our extended family, because the world is now very small place. We are interacting with each other, and there are so many problems in our world. I'm thinking about the world also, because I am not limiting the area within India, because we are all the human being, and be we should live life peacefully. If we have to live peacefully, we want one thing, that is humanism. But nowadays, the humanism is at stake, and there are so many unrest in the world, and that is the result of our building the nation and building the children from the early childhood. So early childhood should be made in such a way that we can build the nation very peacefully. The process of development of children should be taken care by the seniors. So if we do not make the children very effective, and we do not develop them peacefully, and we do not take care of their future generation, our future will be at stake. So we are passing through a time when the humanism is at stake. I am repeating it because it is the main problem in our world. So we are running through the competition and selfishness and rat race. We need all-round development of the children. If we want the all-round development of the children, what should be how should we develop them? Every child should be developed mentally, physically, emotionally, and socially. And they should enter into the world through knowledge, and knowledge is acquired in the early childhood education, during the period of early childhood education. They should be confident about their life. How they should be confident about their life? I am not going to the technical points of developing the children. I am going, I am discussing about the ethical issues of developing the children, how we can develop the children. And we are responsible for our future. So both the teachers and the parents should be responsible for the development of our children. They should be independent in thinking. They should be creative one. They should learn how to develop the others also. And when they are learning, they should be developed in such a way that they will think about the human development. So in India, we have certain problems. We have the problems of poor attendance of the children in the school. There is also dropout, economic problem also. And so children should be developed through quality learning, quality education. How quality education can be achieved? Quality education should be achieved through ethical values and learning aids, fierce learning, and continuous development of the children, continuous evaluation of the children, and joyful learning. And they should be allowed to interactive in social relations from the childhood. As my previous lecture speakers has already uh, told that the human brain is developed, 90% of the human brain is developed within 5 years. So this is the time, this is the period when the children should be developed through human values, ethical values. And so we need the quality of qualified and well-trained teachers, so that they can be developed the students can be developed emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. But so the students should not be, the children should not be overburdened. Nowadays, in India, we have seen the weight of the books and bags are very more and more, and so that as a result, they are reading more but learning less. So we should be careful in such a way that we can, the children should be developed through extracurricular activities and humanism. And so the involvement of the parents as well as the teacher are very required at present. So thanking all, my lecture is for the very short period, but I have highlighted about the humanism that we need now. Development of humanism. Thanking you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Garauri, for your amazing speech. So yes, well, we are come to the end as Mr. Garauri is our last speaker in today's session. So we have learned and listened together from our honorable speakers. We got some points from each speaker, and I hope to all of our listeners, you can implement what you have learned today, whether it's for your children or students, because our knowledge will be meaningful once we implement it and share it with others. And yeah, we can all agree how important the early education for the children, because it's really the stage where we can start developing many aspects and try to, let's say, shape our personality as well during that age. So my deep gratitude to all eminent speakers and organizers and also listeners. You all were amazing and will be always amazing. So Professor Nada, how do you feel for this session?
What to say today? An amazing session. I want to say that all our great eminent speakers were really excellent. Uh, I today the important topic, the benefits of early childhood education and its effect on the future success. We listen today this, so we know today this is a critical time in the child's life. And if we know set the foundation for the future success, and today so many numbers because the research show how we are investing in the quality early childhood, and we need a positive impact on a child's future. Without this academic, social, emotional development we need. So we are exploring why early childhood education is today important and how can we shape a child's future success. Our great speakers, our great queen, our great youth, our great Dr. Joanne, and all today say what we need to do, how children, our great Professor Rachana, so our great Professor Zaki, so how children need to attend the early childhood education, the programs, and what is for them better. And our platform, and we today, and global educators community, international internship, university, research center, and all here, you, amazing Herdiana, we are all doing. This is our mission. We want to enhance the social skills because the early childhood education programs provide children opportunities, how to interact with the peers, how to develop important social skills. We hear our Azra, we hear our Elena. We are supporting them. Our great Dr. Queen, she is for the emotional development. She is for the inspiration, for the motivation, for the positive mindset. And our foundation are providing this for learning. This early childhood. So why invest in early childhood education? It is very important. We are getting the better outcomes for the children. We are boosting economic growth. We are reducing the inequality. So early childhood education today plays a critical role, if we are talking about the shaping that child's future success. investing in quality early childhood education programs is really beneficial for children. And we are here, and we want to help to all our great youth around the globe to have a quality education. So, Herdiana, our great master, you make today a wonderful job. Like always, you are an amazing. Our great professor, Karudin, is also here. Professor
Yes.
Karudin,
Professor
welcome,
welcome.
Yes,
welcome.
Bu Ardiana.
Yes,
Yes.
maybe you want to share with us some thoughts like about this topic. I'm sure that you have so many experience and knowledge about this topic. Maybe
Yes,
you can
it's
share some
what
points
what
with
you
us.
what is being said is nothing more than true and clear. You know why? Because I'm experiencing it right now. I have 4 of my grandchildren with me starting yesterday and today, and I watch them, and you can see the way they learn. And someone mentioned about that learning. You know, the children learn very fast before the age of 5, which is true. My youngest grandson, he is 4, and he speaks, you know, superb English, and he can ask you back. You know, when I speak to him, I'm just like I'm speaking with an adult, and he's just outside. Whatever that has been discussed, been described by all the speakers, is really true. And yes, early education is fundamental, is basic. If you don't pay attention to it, it's at our own peril. Back to you, Bu Ardiana, Prof.
Okay,
Nada.
thank you so much, Professor Khairuddin.
Yes. Professor Karudin, thank you. Thank you
Yes.
for sharing your great thoughts. You are amazing. So, there are no words to express our gratitude to our great and amazing guest speakers for the valuable time for enriching us with their thoughts today. Thank you all for this day. Thank you. You all were amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Professor Pradipta Mandal, for doing a great job for making this conference very successful. Also, there's a person behind the success of today's event who is continuously guiding us, motivating us, putting his best. And it is our great dear founder of IIU, Sir Piyush Sir. So today, no words, no sufficient words to express our heartfelt gratitude. So keep reflecting, learning, collaborating, exploring, being nice to yourself. Dear audience, thank you. Dear audience, thank you for being with us. Now we will put the forms. Please write your comments on the review, not making screenshots. We need a place to review. So now Nada will put when we finish this, but please in the review. So till tomorrow, stay safe, stay healthy. And tomorrow, wish a successful day too. And I'm sure because we have also an amazing guests, educators from all around the globe. Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations to everyone. And have a good day.
Yes, and after our session, please for 1 hour join to listen about non-formal education in Europe. We have guests from Poland, Romania, from Italy. So join us and listen about the non-education, formal education in Europe. Bye, 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 bye.